Do you know me? I created the Muppets.
Big deal!
Everybody knows them, but not me. So when I travel, I carry the American Express card. It's backed by over 600 travel service offices around the world, and each one is like a home away from home. Except the Muppets aren't there.
Hey, wait a minute, Bob!
Hey, where are you going?
The American Express card.
Don't leave home without it!
Welcome back to Brand Management, the show that explores the history of your favorite brand mascots. Today we take a look at the brand mascots of Jim Henson. Jim Henson was born in Greenville, Mississippi in September 1936. While still in college, Jim and his future wife Jane ran their first television series, Sam and Friends. Sam and Friends consisted of a series of short segments featuring Muppet characters like the titular Sam, Yorick, and a soon-to-be famous green creature named Kermit. As Jim's career blossomed, he surrounded himself with more Muppeteers, including Frank Oz, Jerry Jewell, Carol Spinney, Jerry Nelson, Richard Hunt, and countless other talented performers. While building his legacy of beloved films and television shows, Jim took a wide variety of jobs creating original brand mascots. In 1957, Wilkins Coffee hired Jim to produce a 10-second ad for the company. Jim created a pair of Muppets named Wilkins and Won'tkins. Wilkins was an enthusiastic supporter of Wilkins Coffee, and Won'tkins refused to drink it.
Okay, buddy, what do you think of Wilkins coffee? I never tasted it. Now, what do you think of Wilkins?
In each ad, Wilkins would try to convince Won'tkins to drink the coffee. When Won'tkins refused, he was met with violence.
Have some Wilkins coffee?
Well, I say, I'll take some.
Surprising how many people are switching to Wilkins coffee.
The ads were a massive hit, and over the next 4 years, Jim would produce 179 commercials for Wilkins Coffee and related products. The ads became so popular that in 1958, Wilkins began selling puppets of the characters. For just $1, fans could get their very own vinyl puppets of Wilkins and Won'tkins. To further capitalize on their success, Henson began licensing Wilkins and Won'tkins to other brands. These commercials generally used the same scripts, but would replace Wilkins Coffee with another brand. These brands included Faygo, Community Coffee, and Red Diamond Coffee, whose ads featured the characters in color.
You want a cup of this coffee? It's Red Diamond coffee.
No, give me brand X.
Okay.
Ooh, that's smart.
Wilkins and Won'tkins were eventually retired, but in the early 90s, the now struggling Wilkins Coffee Company attempted to bring them back. Wilkins began running a promotion in which fans could buy t-shirts featuring the characters. Unfortunately, Wilkins attempted this without permission from the estate of the recently passed Jim Henson. Wilkins was confronted directly by Jane Henson when they attempted to promote the characters at a trade show. A copyright infringement lawsuit was filed, preventing Wilkins from using the characters. In 1992, Wilkins Coffee went out of business, and Wilkins and Won'tkins were once again retired. Back in 1961, and still on good terms, Henson created a second set of mascots for Wilkins Coffee. Scoop Wilkins was a news anchor who worked alongside reporter Skip Others.
The abominable snowman is in the news, and here is Skip Others high in the Himalayas.
We put the snowman theory to the test. If there were an abominable snowman, the aroma of this Wilkins coffee would have brought him out of hiding.
There you have it, folks. The abominable snowman is just a myth. Thanks, Skip. Skip. Skip.
Scoop would start a report on a current world event. Then Skip would turn it into an ad for Wilkins Coffee. Scoop and Skip's time with Wilkins Coffee was short, but in 1965 they found a new gig promoting Wilson Certified Meats.
Ladies and gentlemen, the new spokesman for Wilson Certified Meats, Scoop and Skip.
Scoop and Skip no longer played a news anchor and reporter.
You'll adore Wilson Certified Salami.
Baloney.
Not to mention Wilson Certified Luncheon Meat.
Baloney.
You say you love Wilson Certified Bologna?
No, I don't fall for that stuff.
You will. Drop down to the store for some Wilson Certified Cold Cuts.
You'll be up a tree if you don't.
These commercials were more similar to the Wilkins and Wontkins ads. Scoop and Skip would have some sort of disagreement over Wilson's meats that would end in violence. Once again, Scoop and Skip's career with Wilson's Meats was short-lived, but the duo would continue as stock Muppets in other media. 1962 was a big year for Jim Henson's brand Mascots. Encore Frozen Foods commissioned commercials from Jim, and the resulting mascot was Anki. Anki was a small blue Muppet who would appear in grocery stores promoting Encore Frozen Foods.
Encore Frozen Foods.
Anki's time was short, but he was an early example of Henson using a live hand style of Muppet. Jim would soon use this technique for one of his biggest characters. Purina Dog Chow commissioned Jim to produce a series of ads for their Canadian market. Jim and Muppet designer Don Saleen created a pair of dogs for these ads. One was Baskerville the Hound, and the other was a live hand Muppet named Rolf.
Purina Dog Chow will really make a hit with your dog.
Are you sure it'll make a hit?
Positive.
These commercials were popular, but only a few were made. Rolf soon found a career as Jimmy Dean's sidekick on The Jimmy Dean Show, where he was skyrocketed to stardom. Rolf became a standard character in Jim Henson's work, and eventually became a core member of the Muppets, where he remains to this day. Also in 1962, Jim and the Muppet team were hired to produce a series of safety PSAs for the National Council of Churches.
That man is following us too close.
Hey, you're following us too close.
If you don't want me to follow so close, then speed up.
The PSAs followed children, Billy and Sue, who were tempted into dangerous acts by a creature known as the Sneagle. The project went awry when test audiences found themselves more compelled by the evil Sneagle than Billy and Sue. Ultimately, the PSAs never aired, but these characters found another life as stock Muppets in later media. Henson and the Muppets found more success the following year, when they were hired to create a series of ads for the Federal Housing Administration.
He's trembling with fear. Needs a house, but afraid he'll get in over his head financially. Now, FHA has a free guide that tells how to finance a home wisely.
Reused puppets of Scoop and Skip appeared throughout several of these ads, one of which even featured an appearance by Kermit. Another ad in this series featured an old house requesting to be fixed up.
Why don't you get an FHA home improvement loan and fix me up?
Other ads in this series featured a Muppet known as Conrad Love, who tried to talk a grump into financing house repairs.
No, I can repair this place myself.
Conrad even had to deal with the nightmare of applying for a loan.
And banish the nightmare. Back, get back. I hate these visual demonstrations.
1963 also saw Jim produce a single commercial for Marathon gasoline. The commercial features the Pitchman pumps, named Regular and Premium. The ad features the two pumps singing a song about Marathon gas.
Who knows better than we do about our feeling of pride? 'Cause we've got Marathon gasoline surging inside.
In 1964, Henson and Company were hired to create a series of ads for Clausen's Bakery. A new character was created for these ads, named Mac, who strongly resembled the previous mascot, Anki.
Help! Did you bring a loaf of Clausen's bread? No! Why don't you drop down to the grocery store for some?
Mac and Kermit appeared together in a series of ads that were similar to the Wilkins coffee ads. Mac would pitch Clausen's bread to Kermit, who would refuse and face violence. Mac and Kermit continued this routine in a series of ads for McGarry's Sausage. Mac continued as a mascot for the C&P Telephone Company and Southern Bell Telephone, now teamed with a young girl Muppet named Susie.
I'm telling people to dial 1 in the area code before dialing long distance out of Virginia.
What's the gun for?
To get their attention.
This time, Mac was the one to face consequences for not using the promoted product. One of their commercials even featured cameos from Scoop and the Sneagle. Mac and a number of other familiar Muppets appeared in a trio of industrial films for Compaq Corporation promoting pack knit fabric. The short films parodied Frankenstein, Hansel and Gretel, and Rumpelstiltskin. 1965 proved to be another big year for Jim Henson's brand Mascots. Cloverland Dairy in Baltimore commissioned Jim to produce an ad featuring a cow singing the company's jingle. A more successful mascot was created when Southern Bread hired Jim and his team.
I'd even go north for Southern bread. I think I went too far north. Try Southern.
Jim created the Southern Colonel, who shared with audiences how far he would go for Southern bread. Around this same time, La Choy Chow Mein hired Henson to create a character for their advertising. The created mascot was Delbert the La Choy Dragon.
Hello, commercial watchers. We're here at the La Choy Chow Mein Kitchens to show you a sensational visual demonstration.
A sensational visual demonstration.
This is the lovable La Choy Dragon.
You tell him, baby.
Delbert was a large fire-breathing dragon whose enthusiasm often led to fiery results. Delbert was usually teamed with a straight man Muppet named Mert. Delbert even made a few appearances as a full walk-around character.
What you need is La Choy Chow Mein. It's never mushy. It's crisp and crunchy.
It is, huh?
La Choy Chow Mein is quick cooked by me in dragon fire.
Delbert was a hit, and fans could order Delbert as both a hand puppet and as an inflatable toy. 1966 saw the Muppets team creating a series of shorts for Kern's Bakery. For these ads, Henson reused a few Muppets created for an unsold pilot titled Tales of the Tinker D.
Do you like to eat? Yes. Do you like to eat bread? Yes. Do you like to eat Kern's bread? No? Oh. Shall we try that again?
These characters were Tommy and Fred. Much like the Wilkins Spots, Tommy would try to push Kern's bread, and when Fred refused, he would be met with violence. Another set of Muppets was introduced in 1966 to promote RC Cola.
That nutty bird is always drinking Royal Crown Cola.
Oh boy, was that great. Talk about quick, fresh energy. Wow!
Nutty Bird was an enthusiastic drinker of RC Cola, while Sour Bird frowned upon his activities. A third set of Muppets was introduced in '66 to promote General Mills snacks, wheels, flutes, and crowns. A single ad was produced featuring a Muppet who laments how his snacks are taken by a wheel stealer, a flute snatcher, and a crown grabber. Unfortunately, this spot never aired, but the featured monsters had a future within the Muppets. The Flute Snatcher made several appearances in Henson productions, and the Crown Grabber became a staple of the Muppet troupe. As for the Wheel Stealer, we will check back in on him later. 1967 saw a few new additions to the Henson brand mascot lineup. Sir Linnet was created to promote linnet fabric finish.
That fair damsel should use new linnet fabric finish. It's not a starch, but a brand new spray that restoreth like new finish to cottons and miracle fabric.
Sir Linnet was a knight-like figure who showed up to help a housewife with her laundry. Later that year, Henson produced an ad for Tasty Freeze. This ad features the characters of Boss and Homer. Boss introduces a new Tasty Freeze sundae, only for it to be immediately eaten by Homer. Henson also produced a commercial in 1967 for Gleam toothpaste, featuring a character named Clyde, as well as the Grump returning as Horace. It's not known if this commercial ever aired. In 1968, Jim Henson created the robot character Esso for an industrial film for Flying A dealers. That same year, Henson produced a Muppet version of Kenner's mascot, the Goonie Bird. The bird appeared in an ad promoting the Easy Bake Oven.
It's Kenner! It's fun!
In 1969, Jim Henson added a final set of brand mascots to our lineup. Jim was commissioned to make a series of ads for Frito-Lay's new product, Munchos. The ad starred a Muppet named Fred, who served as the Munchos spokesman. The Wheel Stealer, now known as Arnold, would join in the commercials to enthusiastically eat Munchos.
Munchos!
I wish you'd try to control yourself.
Munchos!
The ads were well received, and Frito-Lay offered to make more with Henson. But Jim Henson had other plans. In 1969, several of the Muppet mascots came together to push one more sale. Kermit and Rolf, along with Scoop, the Grump, Conrad Love, the Crown Grabber, and Clyde, appeared in a pitch reel promoting a new children's show. The show would go on to become one of Jim Henson's greatest projects, Sesame Street. And the Wheel Stealer, aka Arnold, would find his new home there, now known as the Cookie Monster. Yes, brand management is back, but it can only stay that way with your help. So, if you enjoyed this episode, please like the video, leave a comment, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Thank you.